Hello, everybody, and welcome to SoCallie number 3. It's a little bit delayed, but we are here trying to wrap up the tournament before the very next SoCallie gets up and started this upcoming weekend. I am DRF, joined by Keon for a very special best of 3 broadcast here to try to get through this tournament. Keon, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing here today.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing two teams here, UCSD versus Tender Defenders, UCSD Esports Gold. For context, I'm actually going to be, so UCSD Gold, if you've been around the collegiate scene for long enough, you know familiar faces like Woomy, Enda, Sunlight, and Go Child to boot. And Tender Defender has a team featuring Chase 247 as well. This should be a fun matchup coming up. And you mentioned before best of 3, so every map is going to start counting here.
Yeah, it's going to go really fast, and this could be over really in the blink of an eye. We're literally only streaming a best of 3 here, so we very much could be off the air in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the way that this thing goes. But just to kind of put a little bit of further context into this matchup here, this is losers semifinals. We are in top 4 now. So the loser of this match will go ahead and take that 4th place spot. The winner moves on to losers finals, where they will face the loser of an upcoming match later this evening that Vapor and Keon will also be covering. It's my team, Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy, taking on Beeline at 8 p.m. Pacific. So be sure to keep an eye out for that matchup. But as we said, this is a simple best of 3 here. And these two teams have played before, Keon. They actually played in the first round of this top 9, where Tender Defenders won 3-2 in what was actually a really thrilling match for those that were able to see it. I believe that Chara actually subbed in for that one, and that's on his YouTube, I believe. I think it was Chase. One of them has the YouTube VOD. You can totally take a look there. But I think we're ready, Keon. Let's dive on in.
Yeah, we're gonna go right into the thick of things here. It is gonna be Tender Defenders on the blue side, orange side, UCSD Esports to boot. I already take a look at some of the weapons. I'm seeing an E leader duel, by the way, in Target Control Undertow Spillways. That's gonna be the big thing to highlight, though. I'm gonna pay in mind here that the Squiffer and the Light Tetras coming out of Tender Defenders right out of the gate is gonna be huge. But right out of the gate, all 3 members of UCSD Esports Gold, 3 out of 4, of course, has gone down. It is a bit of a wipe out there, but it's just 1 for 1, and it will be Tender Defenders taking home this first checkpoint.
Yeah, and that was a crucial pick there for CD Woomy, but had to survive that as well. The trade gonna allow Tender Defenders a big run here, as Ty Lee going to be backflipping all the way back to that tower for the recall. RC doing the best that they can to try to get a couple picks here. Not going to be able to do so, but this tower's all the way down to 37 remaining. A phenomenal opening push here out of Tender Defenders, and even though this is going to be a delayed wipe, they've already done so much damage here, and the jumps are still coming in. UCSD focused on trying to get Ty Lee out of their base instead of trying to push up. That's going to be phenomenal here for Tender Defenders to try to get back in position, but they continue to be at a numbers disadvantage here after 1 minute into the game. A strong push, but UCSD looking to try to match the push that they just saw.
Yeah, and UCSD Esports is doing a pretty good job actually holding well on defense. You mentioned, though, the jumps were coming in there. Tender Defender was kind of trying to be a little bit more opportunistic here, trying to see if they get more out of this tower here, but they bit off a little bit more than they could chew, and everybody had to respawn in. And now we get to see UCSD Esports able to punish out a few members there, the E-Leader and the Sniper both going down, and we get to see Ty Lee able to get the E-Leader out of there. Goat Child has gone down, and there is still members on that tower. Will Ocean Opal try to get more out of this one? No, just wisely escapes with their life. Not quite the lead, not a bad push nevertheless, but still not the lead anywho.
Yeah, and they needed to really check Ty Lee there up on that left grate, and unfortunately just was able to take down Goat Child, and a trade after that, giving Tender Defenders the numbers to get the stop there at a crucial moment where UCSD was starting to find a little bit of momentum after what really seemed to be a disastrous opening for them. But UCSD doing a great job of taking the lead here now in terms of the pacing of the game. They don't have the lead in the score quite yet, yet, but they're going to have to get a crucial pick here on SoCallie once again if that's going to be the case, I think. SoCallie coming in from behind, not going to be able to get it. That goes the lead now. UCSD up by 2 points, continuing to have the numbers in their favor, going all the way down to this final checkpoint. Ocean Opal, the newest member of UCSD Esports Gold, coming up from that Navy team, coming up with a crucial play here, and that's going to be a wipeout. Gold all the way down to 15 points remaining. Keone, I think that is a great position for them to be in, but they're going to have to act fast off of this wipeout.
Yeah, Intended Affairs is going to have to replicate the same success they had in that first push. They lost the second and third attack from UCSD Esports. Members going down left and right, and these multiple down scenarios effectively means UCSD Esports, they get total paint control into their territory there, and we get to see Tender Defenders on a 3-down situation there, but SoCallie trying to play back. Big time, that's 3 down on both sides. Messy fight across the board, but it is going to be 3 members down on both ends, but it looks like Tender Defenders are back in position. There are 2 members have gone down on top of it, and then this would be a decent push. They just have to look for RC there. RC might be able to get away from this one, and it will be Ocean Opal. No, not able to get RC gone, and now we get to see the Zipcaster being used. RC playing this one very patiently, knowing where the members are, but of course being punished. And Tender Defenders had a strong looking push there that could have potentially been a lot worse, but with all the members going down and all the trades that were happening, UCSD Esports holds on.
Yeah, they certainly do. And I mean, SoCallie is just kind of the person that UCSD is going to have to continue to check here, doing a phenomenal job with those light Tetras. And here they go again, coming up with a big pick there. But UCSD now doing a great job of just finding ways to take 2v1s against these Tetras who have just been the main source of problems for them so far. And now with that wipeout, UCSD going to make a move, try to push this tower up as far as possible, possibly looking for the knockout, but without CD Woomy locking down that front line, it's going to be a little bit trickier, and they're going to play this one a little bit slow for the closing 30 seconds, it seems.
Yeah, they're gonna have to play this one pretty slow. I don't necessarily blame them at all. SoCallie trying to make something happen with that Zipcaster, no dice. So here's something that I'm paying an eye on here. Tender Defender has 2 specials available, but it's just a Waybreaker and the Stamper, of course, with that Zipcaster that RC is gonna have to likely find value if they're gonna have to pop it. That's not happening anymore. Goldchild takes them out right on the tower, but it's still 3 down despite that, and it is gonna be the Blue Ball. It's gonna be the nuts. There, I can't believe it. That was a little scary for sure. UCSD Esports, though, what a hold in the final moments.
Yeah, and if you, Keone, I think you actually certainly missed out on this, but that was big for UCSD there, because if you were at SoCallie, or SoCallie, I should say, when the event was in person in Fullerton, California, actually, UCSD had lost a Game 5 on tower control because Nerdy Adam had actually mistimed the GG Booyah, then overthrew it, and then they lost the lead in overtime. So a little bit of kind of redemption there for Nerdy Adam and UCSD Esports Gold as they are able to execute the GG Booyah at a numbers disadvantage to secure that game for his team. So kudos to Nerdy Adam there. I love to see the redemption arc. And now UCSD is up 1-0 here in loser semis.
I'm glad I know about that context too, because I feel like DRF. I feel like I'm getting a bit of a flashback, a little bit outside of SoCallie. Actually, there was a CCA Division 1 matchup that I think we both did where Nerdy Adam had a Booyah Bomb that was actually being thrown in there, and I think since that SoCallie, which I believe happened a handful of times ago, I think with Nerdy Adam cleaning up those Booyah Bomb placements and then of course throwing it at an optimal time, I think it's starting to become clear. Hey, there's that arc that Nerdy Adam has been desperately looking for. And yeah, you're right too. If Nerdy Adam mistimed it, I thought that Booyah Bomb was actually well placed, hence my call and the hesitation there. But if it was mistimed the way that it ended up happening back in that Game 5, we could have seen the exact same story. But all cleaned up, no problem whatsoever. Now, because it's the best of 3, it's match point for UCSD Esports. Every map is gonna have to matter from here on out.
Yeah, in the best of three, there's nowhere to hide. Like it's you either win or you don't. Like there's nowhere to really be like, oh, it's okay. Like we'll pick up the slack a little bit. Like you have to be on that gas pedal the entire way through. As we are going to go ahead and dive on into game number 2, UCSD trying to put this one away and complete the redemption arc against the Tender Defenders here, and it will be Clamlet's Scorch Gorge, as it seems like the only adjustments we're seeing here are from Nerdy Adam switching to that T-Tech and Ty Lee switching over to those Dark Tetras.
Yeah, so this is just a Tetra change here. Instead of using that Zipcaster to be a little bit more skirmishy with the light Tetra's, just gonna go with the Reef Slider, get a little bit of zoning there. Definitely like that change. On the side of UCSD Esports, as you highlighted there, the change over to T-Tech from the Booyah. I actually like that choice too, though I think both specials could have provided the same, but it looks like Adam's going to try to go for a little bit more closer range, more range if you will, or less range if you will, trying to fight in close quarters there. Nice find, by the way. We called up the T-Tech there, taking out Ty Lee on top of it. 3-down situation, but it was a 3-down situation there. Tender Defenders able to respawn up. This is just going to be Clam economy secured for UCSD Esports. Probably looking for that push here soon.
Absolutely, as they're going to try to take advantage of these numbers here, and with Goat Child over on that right grate, eventually going down there, that really opened things up for her team to come in here and start piling in the clams. And now with all of the Tender Defenders coming out of spawn, but with no clams to work with, it's going to be down to the wire here for Ocean Opal to get this power clam. And yes, they do, all the way down to 42 remaining, but this will be the end of the push, it seems, as Goat Child with that leader not going to be the one trying to initiate a push here, but they will get the beautiful flick there onto Ty Lee.
Little bit of style points, let's say, DRF on the pick of Ty Lee. And celebrates with a nice... Okay, if you can do that one better, I will do the exact same. That was awesome. But it's Race is going to go down there. A little bit of E-leader style points there, for sure. But if we go back to the objective, though, we did get to see that power climb, which, by the way, just spawned. Movie's is gonna kickstart, bringing up the barrier. They're able to cash in 20 more points, but now we're going to get to see more clams come in there. They're out of the penalty points to get one more in. Could they can find a little bit more? Majority of the clam holder in Adam just went down. RC's just there to build up that space there. Ty Lee, unfortunately, going down on top of it. It is just going to be another 3 points tacked on out of there. Still very nice, though. Tender Defenders, though, I would say that is a slight win, but they do need to look for a better push, but they're not going to get one here with them going 3 down.
This is huge for UCSD right here. Excellent coordinated push. Now they will get more points on the board, and they are looking to knock out at this stage, but they need some clams to work with. The entire team trying to maintain pressure here. Nobody going back to collect clams, it seems. Finally, someone's coming in here with 3 clams, but it's not going to be in time. No! So they're going to have to just hold down the fort here, keep some aggression up. CD Wumi's going to go down, but they're in still a fantastic spot here. Tender Defenders struggling to just break out of their basket. Ty Lee somehow dodging all of those ink strikes as well. 2 minutes to play, but it's an uphill battle for the Tender Defenders.
Tender Defenders is going to have to look to secure the Clam County, but they're also having to win a lot of these fights here, and we're seeing UCSD Esports, again, they go right in, out of the penalty points there, and they got a lot of clams in front for the KO, and they will do just the one clam that was spawned, and UCSD Esports 2-0 victory, and that will wrap up this loser semifinals matchup. Well played to UCSD Esports and Tender Defenders, but more GGs, of course, to UCSD.
Absolutely. That was a phenomenal game by UCSD. It seemed like that as we kind of got started in game 1, Tender Defenders were just hitting their stride early on. UCSD kind of just needed a minute to warm up. But I think once we kind of saw UCSD get a couple of wipeouts there in that TC Undertow game, it really felt like that was the turning point. And I know it's really hard to, discuss that in a best of 3 where it moves so fast, but it really was a turning point about halfway through that TC Undertow. And it just seemed like it was their set to lose from there on out. And that was, I think, the best I've ever seen UCSD Esports Gold play Clamblets on Scorch Gorge, because I know that that's been a little bit of a struggle map mode for them.
Oh, yeah. And we are hearing word, and I feel like getting flashbacks to all the traditions here, DRF, which I'll allude to in just a moment. I know you know what I'm talking about here in a moment, but before I go to that point, But yeah, in a best of 3 setting, there every map actually matters because you barely have any wiggle room to work with. One pivotal play throughout a set can easily define it, and that's what we saw there. You mentioned before that first map, that wipeout that pretty much got that lead, 50 points out, 15 points main. Pretty much done deal right there. And then the second map, and then they carried that exact momentum from game 1 all the way to that game 2 where it was match point. And again, Tender Defenders was all time to play defense the entire game. Basically, they had no chances to push, and if they did, it was pretty much shut down. UCSC Esports just played those 2 maps beautifully, and hey, UCSC Esports looking good, and this will be Tender Defenders finishing 4th. But you're not, for those who are tuning in, your eyes are not being deceived. They're playing a 3rd game for fun.
Yeah, so I guess UCSD Esports Gold, they play in the CCA. They're going to carry the CCA tradition over to SoCallie because why not? It's best of 3. You know, there's one more map. You know, let's go ahead and play it for fun, especially because we went through the trouble to get everybody here. It's kind of a shame to start a stream and end a stream in 15 minutes or less. So we'll play this last one for the heck of it. Why not? Let's see if they end up cooking something here. No, it looks like this is going to be more practice for UCSD. So they're sticking with their guns. But Tender Defender is going to be kind of experimenting a little bit. You know, hey, set's done. Let's go ahead and see what else we can do.
Okay, so a different stamper or Splatana, if you will, for the wiper. I wasn't ready for the double Glugas. If there were any double Booyah weapons that were to exist, certainly double Glugas is a choice. You know, at this point, if you're playing a 3rd game for fun, why not cook something cool? I want to see if the double Glugas can do it. But of course, I think my wishes are going to be dashed. There's the first checkpoint for UCSC towards CRF.
Yes, and it looks like UCSD is going to be hunting for more here as Ocean Opal going to pop that cooler. CD Wumi's got a Zuka, is able to take out one of the Glugas and run with that Rainmaker all the way down to 39 points remaining. UCSD still with the numbers, but nobody there to pop the barrier quite yet. So it's just going to be a matter of who can pop this barrier, because it's going to be hard for UCSD to get in position to do so. They finally will. CD Wumi with a beautiful double. Goat Child with the 3rd pick as well. And they're looking to put this one away in record time here. But Tender Defender's doing a great job of trying to stop it. But no, CD Wumi puts the cherry on top of this 2-0 victory for UCSD Esports by claiming the friendly game 3.
You know, the friendly games 3, I was really hoping to see the double Glugas will work out to perfection. Unfortunately, my hopes were dashed from my chair. But also, as you mentioned, in pretty much the record fashion, there almost a minute and 10 and change, I get, for that map to go. Total domination from UCSD from minute 1, and I get that they're trying to cook with the double Glugas. Just to outmatch in every facet. There was at least a stop there from RC. A very well played stamp. Had that stamp came in a little bit earlier or later, basically we would be seeing seeing that game end in even faster time. But just trying to stall it out. That was their chance for Tender Defenders to fight big. And as you mentioned, UCSC Esports just decided to take home that friendly game 3. And hey, if you're gonna go 2-0, why not why not win all 3 for the heck of it?
Yeah, and I for the record, like right now is their designated practice time at the Triton Esports Center in UC San Diego. So this was just them practicing, I guess, like for real. And okay, I guess we're doing more. So I don't know. Maybe this really is practice. Oh, it's a replay. Okay. I was like, are they still going? Like, okay, but no, yeah, this is their regularly scheduled practice time. So this is just kind of, you know, what I guess they were hoping to just continue to do is just, you know, run things like they normally would, especially because Ocean Opal is the newest member moving up from the JV team to varsity following Sunlight's graduation this past December. So so they have a new member. They're going to be kind of cooking some stuff. It's going to be fun to follow this team still. And UCSD Esports, now that they've won this set, they've guaranteed themselves top 3, and more importantly, they've guaranteed themselves at least some form of payday, as the top 3 teams are splitting that prize pool, which I don't know the exact number, but you could probably do the quick maths. I believe it's something like $600-ish. No, it's not 400. somewhere like that. So like it's we'll say about 500. Yeah, I believe that's what the prize pool is approximately at, and at the very least they're going to get 10% of that.
Hey, move from fourth to third, and that being a nice payday. That's a money well received there. As by the way, for those checking in, yeah, we're gonna get some stats here or some key moments, and I think it was pretty much the lead that was taken early, but then it just pretty much did not seem to follow suit. We see the point where the lead was basically being swiped, and if you see the timing of the specials right there, and the members that were down, it was pretty much just staggered across the board, and those splashes came down at a very crucial moment here. As I think we do get the replay there if it wants to load, of course, and there we go. Replays can be a little bit finicky here, but this is a critical juncture. You get one member, okay, you get two down. They find the E leader on that right hand side, and then the Stamper and that Squiffer both going down as well. Tylee had to flank from the left hand side, able to get at least a return pick, but they knew that they were there, so they were pretty much positioning themselves in such a way where they had to make sure they cover Tylee. Beautiful positioning with Woomy to take out Tylee. Was able to get way more points. RC was just staggered, and at this point, it was just pretty much how many more points can UCSD get? And losing that fight right out of the gate so early, and then Tylee just not able to get the stop that they needed was pretty much the thing that pretty much turned that game around. We do eventually see later Tender Defenders tried to make that work with a push of their own, but they got stalled right at that critical moment there. Even with all the fighting that was happening, it just came down to the final splats on Tender Defender, and then that's pretty much all she wrote. And then we kind of see the game being just a tug of war towards the end.
Yeah, and I think tug of war is a great way to describe this particular game. Both teams just went completely back and forth all game long, but UCSD had that turning point, right before that replay section that we saw there. And taking a look at the stats, CD Woomy dropping that 20 bomb, phenomenal. Nice. Expect nothing less from the Carbon Deco Woomy himself. So if we can look at the stats from the other game as well, we don't necessarily need to jump into the replay. I'm more so just curious. But another solid showing from the entire UCSD team. They're pretty well rounded. Like no one really stands out above anyone else because everyone just died 2 or 3 times and everyone had between 7 and 9 kills. So very, consistent performance from every single member of that team here. So kudos.
Yeah, UCSD played a very strong game. We will be hopping into this replay, but this was basically all UCSD from here on out in this Clams matchup. Tender Defenders, I know people will probably look at the stat line and realize, okay, maybe they're just the famous phrase I like to hear is just running it down. But it was just more of a testament to how well UCSD esports pretty much played. Yeah, we are pretty much just seeing it here. UCSD pretty much stayed alive for a heavy chunk of this game. For the least, Tender Defenders was just getting splatted left and right with virtually no response or any resistance, which again, it's just very unfortunate when you're stuck in a team, especially even if you're playing on a pickup team, playing in a tournament, especially in a LAN environment. That would be SoCallie. Mm-hmm. You still gotta work together. Still trying to piece everything all together at once. And then when you're trying to play with each other again after the continuation of SoCallie way back when, I'm sure rust and teamwork will have to be completely reforged here. So at that point in time, we unfortunately saw Tender Defender just not able to basically keep up with the pace that UCSD esports was showing. I chalk that to more of a testament to how well UCSD Gold played throughout this set.
Yeah, and I mean, because they've been pretty consistently, practicing, since the first, or since SoCallie took place in person. I don't know what the story is for Tender Defenders, but I mean, just if you look at this game as well, though, just look at this giant gap in specials from Tender Defenders. From minute 1, we don't, or I guess the first 30 seconds, my apologies, we don't see another special out of them until, what is that, the 2.5, a little over 2.5 minute mark. So we almost went 2 minutes without seeing a Tender Defenders special. And that's crazy that UCSD was able to kind of really have that kind of impact to make sure that there was just no special output.
And the tricky thing too is of course when you get splatted as often as you do, it's going to be very hard to build that special every time. And for those who has had their fair share of our anarchy games, rough ones as well, where you're trying to basically make an impact, and then you just kept getting splatted by the enemy team over and over and over again. It is so hard to get those specials back online and be able to make a difference. UCSD Esports goal, able to pretty much keep on that gas pedal, make sure that no tender defender members are still alive during those critical moments there. And that huge gap of 2 minutes has to, again, it's UCSD just doing their part to make sure the tender defenders has no chance to make it work. And if you go from 30 seconds to 2:30 right there, you kind of see the spread that tender defenders all went down. It was like almost spread staggered out, if you will. So not one. It's very hard for one member, let alone to be able to get that special on board to make sure that any impact can be had. And yeah, we're about to see how UCSD Esports just played out this game so well.
Yeah, and it was with that wipeout really, because tender defenders, I think their strength is in openings, and we saw them open pretty strong there yet again. UCSD kind of just trying to take a minute to get their footing, but once they did, it was an avalanche of clams. So it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, like, it was really good start, just wasn't able to follow through. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's really much else to say here. I think we're kind of just beating a dead horse at this point with kind of the analysis here. But alas, that is going to be this set. I know that we had talked about this earlier, but Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy will be playing Beeline in about an hour right here on this same channel. So Vapor will be streaming us, and I believe, Keon, you'll be joining us again on the mic for that set, correct?
That should be the case, barring any last minute changes here. There's something could always be something that randomly happens within the hour, but I should be set to call that game there TLS or TZS, wherever you want to play, TZS plus Limeade, whatever team you want to have. Yeah, I should be set to calling that one, so that should be a fun one coming up there, and this will be, I believe, a winners a matchup from the winners bracket side of the fence, unless I'm not mistaken. So that will be a lot of fun to see how that one plays out. And of course, since you're probably since one of the few members, I'm sure you want to just at least de-rust a little bit there too. Close to that match.
Yeah, no, we'll get to start getting warmed up. I know Brian is on his way home from work, barring LA traffic. So we will hopefully have all 4 members in time. But worst case scenario, Keon, get ready. No. But no, we'll be fine. So looking forward to that. So unfortunately, I will not be on the mic because I will be playing. But it should be a fun matchup nonetheless. That one will be a best of 5, and again, we'll check in after each of these sets. So I know that we were guaranteed at least losers semis and winners finals. I don't know if UCSD and Beeline are interested in continuing losers finals and whatever, but we'll kind of just have updates as things move along, and we'll see how close we can get to finishing up this tournament that's been going on for close to 3 months now. So it's going to be nice to finally put this one in the books.
And I'm sure I'm sure Hammer and the rest of the crew are probably trying to breathe a sigh of relief of closing out this tournament that has been overdue. So I'm sure once we put a wrap on this one, then they can look forward to the next SoCallie with a lot more peace of mind, if you will.
Absolutely, and that's going to be this weekend. So it's a great time to put this one to rest. So with that said, though, Keon, thank you so much for joining to cover this losers semis match. We will be back in a little bit at the top of the hour with the winners final set. That will be Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy versus Beeline.
Welcome everybody back to SoCallie 3, the continuation of SoCallie's tournament here. We're covering more top 4 action for you guys. I'm Keon, still here on the desk, but joining me, of course, is I'm trying to point it the other direction. There we go. I got it right this time. It's Neptune. How are you doing?
I'm a little bit tired here, but hey, Splatoon's a very exciting game, and you just got to stay awake just to see it out, regardless of how much energy you're running on here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So let's give you a recap of what of the matchup you're actually going to be seeing coming up. It's going to be Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy. I am not kidding. It is no there are no longer zones involved. It is Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy, which for that particular team, it is a Triggerfish Zone Supremacy team plus a Limeade member in Shiny, filling in for that 4th slot. That's what that team roster is. They're up against Beeline, which is a team that actually has made their way through the SoCallie Splatoon 3 LAN brackets here so far. Now, so here's the funny thing here. So we're continuing the SoCallie event from a LAN environment to an online environment. So now everybody's trying to get all of themselves back together. They're trying to remember the play styles, do some quick warm-ups. I'd imagine there might be some rust coming in this one. If you were to play in a pickup that hasn't played in quite a while, you can probably get the feeling of how things go from there.
Yeah, definitely. There could be a little bit of a lack of synergy, versus like the in-person environment. Like, you're socializing, you get to see the person's face to face and like celebrate your wins together in a way that's like, up close and personal. But now it's moved online, right? Of course, Splatoon is mostly played online here, but hey, most of these players have trained for this very moment here, and we're going to be locking into this game right here. I believe we're going with Scorch Rainmaker first here, Keon.
Yes, we will be going with Scorch Rainmaker. Before I explain that one real quickly, just to give you guys a quick briefing here, this is a winners finals matchup, and this will be a best of 5 that will be coming up here. You're going to have Rainmaker Scorch being map 1, Barnacle and Dime Zones being the second one, Ship-Shape Cargo Control, I think it's Control. Ship-Shape Cargo, let's say, Tower Control, Scorch Clams once again, so we make it to game 4, continuation of Scorch. And then Undertow Rainmaker is the deciding game 5 for this one. But first, we gotta talk about Scorch Rainmaker. This map full of a lot of fight that will happen around mid. So this is gonna be a little bit of fun. This is gonna be a little bit of fun. Let's say in the early stages of this game, just trying to see how both teams try to attack the Rainmaker overall.
Yeah, the Rainmaker is a scuffle to get for that thing because it's literally on that little bit of a platform there, and any competent backline's going to be watching it like a hawk. So I'm curious to see how both these teams are going to be able to pull out a mid, get to that first checkpoint, and then somehow snowball that momentum all the way to that second checkpoint, because that is a big stretch of land here, and we're going to be going right into this one, Keon. I am so excited for this one. How about you?
I am super excited as well. One of the key things I'm going to be looking out here, as Beeline's going to be on the orange colored side. Blue colored side, it is going to be Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy, or TLS for short. I take a look at the weapons. This is pretty much your run-of-the-mill weapon situations here, as DRF immediately disconnects. Okay.
Someone tell us.
We're gonna pump the brakes there, Neptune. We're gonna hold.
I'm curious who MP'd DRF here. We're gonna find you out.
all right. I was gonna say hashtag land moment because so I know lands can be finicky. We're in an online environment, so the entire thing was out the window. But if this were to happen to land, you'd probably be getting all the TOs just quickly troubleshooting the setup. Then you gotta go back to the other menus. All the fun stuff. This is probably your run-of-the-mill disconnect that's happening here. And both teams are kind of just exiting out. So we're going to hold the excitement there for just a couple of moments.
Yeah, DRF is keeping us in quite a bit of suspense here, Just at least they got it out of the way immediately and not like in the middle of the heat of the action. Like, can you imagine if it's like overtime and then you DC at the most crucial moment right there? That would be the most unfortunate circumstance of events that would happen to a player there. But hey, you got it out of the way. You can just have it in the past, now focus on the present here, right? A little bit of an oopsie daisy here. Yeah, you know what you gotta do afterwards.
And this is where we can now say, instead of a land moment, it is a Splatoon moment. Your typical run-of-the-mill stuff. But this is going to give me some quick moments here to talk about Beeline and TLS's route to winners finals. TLS is pretty much let's the long story short. Not go into any assumptions here. They made it all the way to that winners finals off the back of some teams that just aren't present. That's the best way to phrase it right there. But we do have Beeline with some results there. 3-1 results against Caliente in winners quarters. They then took out 10 defenders, which we actually just saw an hour ago or so. On say quote unquote on stage, I would say 3-1. They're on to that winners finals. They are playing TLS or Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy. That is the route that Beeline has had. They actually had a decent pool stage from what I also see here as well. This is so they basically qualified their way through just no problem. Didn't have to deal with classic redemption shenanigans as on top of it. So, but looks like both teams are trying to most likely get themselves resituated here for a few seconds.
Yeah, I got locked back in there, get back in that gamer chair, get that controller ready, have some water on the side there, maybe some snacks, maybe a little bit of piece of gum or something like that. I'm having some gum right now, Gotta stay awake during these nights here, but hey, maybe this Splatoon excitement, I don't need the gum at the end of the day, but hey, we are finally getting back into this one, Keon. We get to see some Splatoon action here, over here for SoCallie. Let's see Edie's comps here and find it back in here.
All right, we're back to basically the exact same combinations here. Actually, believe it or not, these are pretty standard as you can get if you look at it from a face value standpoint. You're basically dealing with dueling snipe fighters here, so that's gonna be the thing I'm gonna have to keep an eye on is how both teams use their snipe fighters to paint. But the fascinating thing, so I mentioned for the in this top of the set here, TLS has Shiny filling in on the back line. This is where you usually see Vapor and TZS side of the fence covering this one. So this is going to be an interesting dynamic to see from Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy, which, by the way, they pick up this Rainmaker after taking 2 members out of Beeline. They're running themselves up to the first checkpoint. No dice whatsoever, though, and members are going down left and right, delayed 3 on top of this, and it is going to be, that's an awesome name, by the way, Station GPT, trying to make this one work. Golden Ball has gone down on top of this. They are going to break this one through, but I think this is going to be all the control that they would need with DRF only just trading there, but still not too bad. Beeline at least holds for a few seconds.
Yeah, that was a fantastic trade there from DRF there. Taking out the Snipe Rider. Not only is Cooler going to be offline for even longer here, but hey, Shiny's going to toss out a Cooler of their own here, and they're going to be able to go back right to this first checkpoint here and get an easy pop up. But no, it seems like it's going back and forth, slowly going in the favor of Triggerfish there. But hey, Beeline's going to be able to hold pretty strong there on the lines there, but unfortunately going to get picked off. 2 members go down here. That Rainmaker is going to be disappearing soon. It's going to be quickly grabbed, and the first checkpoint is going to be broken here, Keon.
And I like the idea that the Slosher player from Beeline tried to do is just trying to paint, use that bucket from range, and then just try to find the members left and right, and then try to shut down this TLS push, but it was not happening. They just went down as fast as they did, and unfortunately that turnaround was crucial because it's going to be DRF who's holding this Rainmaker, trying to stay within safe quarters there. Pepe is just lurking large, so is Golden Ball on that side. They are going to get this one down to less than 30 points, maybe a KO here. They got full control of the checkpoint. Not quite there yet. It is going to be 3 down. It's just Shiny who's the only one off. Shiny is going to just stay back, just try to retreat a bit. 6 points remaining in the context of Scorch Rainmaker is a fantastic push, but that wipeout should help Beeline's cause.
That was crazy. They're getting it all the way down to 6 points here. That is a game-winning push here. And now Triggerfish is going to have to play some defense here as a myriad of specials are coming out here. We see the Zuka coming out here. More stuff is going to be coming online, but the Slusher unfortunately picked out here. DRF unfortunately goes down as well, and Golden Ball going up and just in that Snipe Rider's face there and just preventing them from doing anything else here. And Mia holds on for dear life there, but unfortunately gets picked off as Triggerfish gets to go back into mid here, Keon.
Moving up to take out the Snipe Rider from close range, very key there. But Beeline's going to be very happy to get the first checkpoint because they don't have to deal with the checkpoint and then lose some time to get the control back. So now this is just going back to your Splatoon 2 mechanics. The key thing though, game-winning push, definitely within range for Triggerfish Limeade here, but they gotta keep this aggression going if they want to make sure that Beeline doesn't have a chance to fight back. But there's also a case where you don't want to be as aggressive as you can get. and it will be Beeline trying to hold the line. There, no pun intended, trying to see if they can make this one work. But Mia's going to go down. This is actually going to be a bit of a brawl, 2-for-2 trade, to say the least. DRF is going to pop this Ancient in a much crucial moment there, but all the members have already escaped, so this Ancient may not find value whatsoever, and it is just going to be 1:25 left on the clock. Still a nice hold, nobody really having any control of this mid area here in Scorch.
Yeah, definitely no mid control here, and Beeline needs to be able to get that Rainmaker as to a little bit as to the 6-point mark here, which is a tall order, especially when they're not going to be able to get into the middle of the map so easily. There's always just seems to be somewhat unwatching mid here. The Wiper is going to be able to go in here, but is not being able to find the picks. Yes, the space is cleared now, but unfortunately, that Rainmaker only has a minute left here to be scored past 6 points here. And DRF is going to be patiently waiting on this wall here, hoping to get one unfortunate soul that comes a bit too close here. And right now, that Rainmaker needs to get going soon here. That cooler gets popped here. Many members are looking forward to get pushed here. And DRF now finally starts to move up, and 2 DCs back to back. Oh, wait!
No! Why did it have to happen here?
My God.
Not like this!
Oh my God. What just happened? 1 DC, 2 DC, L DC. That I think that's a new combo for me. I'm usually used to the home XA one, but that's a new one for me, especially online.
Well, we're gonna need to. It was a hosty, so we are hearing word
okay.
that this is a host DC potentially. This is a scenario that, wow, that is quite the time for the DC. I should point out. I'll leave the speculation for another time. We're just gonna leave it at that. But that's I think the best way we can do this is recapping everything leading up to this point. It looked like Beeline was gonna be ready to get another push started there. I think that's kind of what we saw. They almost had some semblance of control leading up to it. But then, of course, as you call it there, 1 DC, 2 DC, and then the count just kept going up. And then just the dropping moment of the connection just dying like that. It was just all sorts of unfortunate. Yep. I'm hoping to hear what it is. If it's not a host CC, we're hoping to hear the results there, and we're hoping that I know for us people who are in the audience, probably you, of course, too. You can probably test watch from the audience. So we're hoping that as much as it is a spec DC, that would have been nice. But it looks like if this is the lobby I see this could be a very dreaded host DC situation here, which we're gonna have to figure out what the ruling is if we ever have to get to that point. But that too, I have a lot of questions, and I think I have to think about that one. Think about those first.
Yeah, definitely. I still got a lot of questions swirling around in my head right now, right? I was thinking back to what you said. If this was on a LAN, that had been a LAN moment. If this is online, it's a Splatoon moment. But I think more than 2 DCs, this is going to count as a Nintendo moment here for me. Slowly escalating up here, but hey, as you said previously, just like it looked like Beeline was getting ready to stage their push there. You know, the cooler got popped out, the Wiper was getting in position ready, DRF was ready to just jump attack whoever wasn't paying attention there at that very moment here. But it would have been very difficult to just get past the 6-point mark, even if multiple people got down there. Like they just respawn back at their spawn there, right? Build up some specials, right, and then hold that choke point there. As we mentioned, scored. It's not easy to knock out on that map in the slightest at all there, right? You have to go through just basically a little line, right? Just going through when here the enemy team just has high ground, just able to easily shoot down, throw bombs, do whatever they need to do to stall all that Rainmaker there. Especially when you get it all the way down to 6 points there, Keon. That's a tall order for anyone and any team in this competitive scene.
And I'm sure Beeline would have had to go for two shots at this push. Basically, they're trying to get it down to 6. That 6 point remaining in Scorched Rainmaker is that's almost a push where they needed to execute perfectly to get it down to that point. And who knows at this point if they were able to do just that. It looked like though the way we kind of saw DRF kind of just sneakily they're waiting for the right time to pop out of the wall and then throw the rest of Beelines by surprise. We never know if we will see the trade. DRF wins out the fight or DRF gets punished, and then it leads to Beeline making a beeline, no pun intended, for that goal. there's a lot. I think like there's a lot of variables to really figure. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of variables, to say the least, about how that push could have went. Either way, though, I for those who are tuning in, it is we are trying to iron out what the decision is gonna be there. As the DC, I think having about less than a minute to go on the clock, and what the situation was that it was 6 points remaining TLS. Just the first checkpoint clear on Beeline.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of variables that TOs and everybody else is just going to have to consider right now. But it's obviously, the reality is we are dealing with a host DC at this point.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate, you know, this like those rulings there, like you don't expect to like pop them out every single time here, but in these situations, you got to just look through the lines, check the game's conditions, right?
Yep.
See if they apply, right? Because like as you said before, right, it's only 6 points for TZS to be able to just completely knock out there, right? And there was only a minute left on the clock there. That would, I don't know if the ruling would say the replay there or that game goes to Triggerfish, Limeade, but I don't know. It can go either way, right? But hey, it seems like everyone's going to be getting back here into this lobby here. I'm curious to see if this is going to be replayed or not here with a different host, hopefully, so we don't have any oopsie daisy moments here.
Okay, so we just went. So for those who are just noting the motion there, we are still waiting on full details about how this is gonna play out. So more to come once we hear from the productions and or TOs. So everybody sit tight as both teams are just figuring this stuff out. But Neptune, considering the fact that it is actually kind of late-ish for where we're at right now, I think we got people who are probably tuning in, realizing we got a Splatoon game going on here around, at least for me, like 10:30 p.m. ish.
Yeah,
and it's kind of late, to say the least. But I'm as awake as I quote unquote could be.
Yeah, same here. I got work tomorrow morning, so I don't know. Maybe good luck myself here. But hey, it's fine. I'm having a lot of fun here, especially with you on the mic as well, right? All these players putting in all their efforts here. You know, it's great to see some nice competition, and a gentleman's replay might be potentially happening here. You know, it's like just good to see good sportsmanship, right? Some people, they'll just immediately see like any advantage they could take and just say, "I'll move on," right? But here, the gentleman's replay is going to be happening, and they're going to be able to replay this, and we're going to get to see Scorch Rainmaker once again here. So, you know what? I'm all down for it. More Splatoon action, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yep, and we are getting the official confirmation from production here. Yes, we will have both teams' gentlemen agreeing. I'm going to be able to speak words. Gentlemen's agreement to replay the first map. By the way, great. Both teams being great sports about this one. It is, again, it's just a moment that you just can't predict when it does happen. It's just one of those things. So we're gonna start from the top. We'll see how this plays out, but it looks like both teams are gonna opt to probably. I will bet myself they're probably gonna keep the same weapons anyway. So really, This might be good for both teams here because they now get a feel here about how both teams kind of played leading up to this point. So we could honestly be seeing some adjustments from the get-go because we're starting with a fresh slate. Both checkpoints are now back up again, so you got to break through those once more. So I wouldn't be surprised if both teams, after playing each other for about 4 minutes, have a feel for how they play out.
Yeah, for sure. Adaptability is certainly a factor here, Playing players for like a whole... Okay, never mind, okay. I'll stop what I'm just happened on Triggerfish Limeade here. That first checkpoint's going to fall here. It's a little bit of a repeat of what we're seeing from the first game here, but...
What? No
way! No way! Young! No way! No way! I'm imagining things. Wake me up! I'm dreaming!
I don't think this. I'm trying. Are they still going to play this one out? I think they're still playing. We are not allowed to have a normal Splatoon game here at 10. It must be all of the gods out there just telling both teams you are not allowed to play Splatoon. You have broken the balance. You have angered us so much at 10:30 p.m. Central Time, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 Pacific Time. You are not allowed to play Splatoon at this stage. I'm going to give both teams credit. They are playing this one out. It's a 3v3. Ultimately, both teams are going to be a man down here. I'm trying to figure out where the DCs are. DRF is out for sure when I see it from TLS. I'm gonna need to take a quick look here.
And the Sloshers
on this side. We do have a lot of the members that just went. I think it's a player on the 4th slot there, one of the bucket members. The Slosher has DC'd from Beeline. So basically buckets are not allowed to play this game.
Apparently, yeah. Higher B just declared outright no one shall bucket in a Rainmaker and just decided, hey, we're gonna run this through. Shooters and the Snipe Rider as well as that Wiper here gonna be dancing that death here, but just unfortunately that at 52 is gonna get picked off here. The Snipe Rider is gonna be tap shotting that Rainmaker away as the Wiper clears a path right now, Keon. It's a 3v3 as you said before right now, and I'm curious to see how this dynamic's gonna be changing here because now you have to play even more for your life here if one person goes down. It's a lot more, how do I say, pressure that can be happening here, but hey, at least a trade is a trade at the end of the day here as Pepe tries to go in for that Rainmaker and is unfortunately picked off there, Keon.
Yeah, and you highlighted the thing I was about to note here, especially if you're in a 3v4, 4v3 situation. If you're the team of three, your ability to stay alive is even more important than ever. Usually if you go one down, it's not necessarily the end of what's going to happen on your defense or offense. But if you're going to go one down, that swings the game tremendously. And then, speaking of swings, Pepe is like, nope, we're going to take 2 members out. We're gonna play this one out. We got to get our members back. We got to get DRF back from being claimed by the gods here. And that was a nice little 2. That's going to be 2 members down. And then the full wipeout. I think we're going to put an end to the 3v3 shenanigans here. And Neptune, to swing it briefly, the most cursed game of Scorch Cord Rainmaker I've ever seen in my life ends with TLS still winning this one 1-0.
That was... I hate using this word, but like this was the most scuffed set of Splatoon I think I have ever witnessed in my entire career here. You know, I joined at the end of Splatoon 3. I'm sure more scuffed things happened, but this is my scuff moment right here that I witnessed right here. Both Sloshers just being yanked out from the game right there, deleted, right? And just both these teams just continuing to play it out there. Pepe just forgot the memo right there at the end. You know, a trade for trade doesn't mean anything, but hey, just decides to take 2 down with that Zuka there and decides to end the game right there with a quick, clean wipeout there from Triggerfish Limeade.
So I will have full honesty there. With the 3v3 situation, it's already hard to come back from 1 or 2 down. Pepe, as you mentioned, just forgets about, just wants to clean this stuff up and just call it a day. But you know what this bizarrely reminds me of? The best analogy I have is you're busy playing a Mario Party game and you're eliminating 2 members right out of the game. The rest of and now in an arena of 8, now 6 members are now having to duke it out for their lives. Obviously, the 4v4 mini game, if you want to put it that way. And both teams just lose 1. They're gonna take you out, and you just happen to be the 2 bucket players on both teams. And I felt like if you look at it at a face value, where it's just a vanilla Slosher versus a try, losing the try Slosher on, by the way, TLS losing their try Slosher for context, you lose a little bit of that aggression up front. On the other side for Beeline, they lost the Slosher, which can paint from range, and also has the trip strikes available. So as much as that analogy matters, and the fact that it's the buckets that are not allowed to play the game, it you kind of lose, that dynamic kind of gets messed a little bit as well.
Yeah, definitely. As you said before, try Slosher's the more aggressive one. Slosher's like the more midline-ish one, just trying to like be able to paint from a distance and just slosh and just like help in fights mostly, right? So having those members removed, right? You're playing without that aggressive bucket. You're playing without that midline bucket right there, right? So you just kind of have to adapt on the fly here. It's like, okay, what do we have currently? What tools do we have available right now that we can use to press advantage here? Both Snipe Riders are alive, so both of them were just able to just output those coolers, right? Both of them, I think, had a Zuka as well, and I think the 52 stayed in there along with that Wiper there. So now it just turns out that difference there, whether the 52 or the Wiper is going to be able to come out on top on the front line there, Keon.
Exactly, and well, we went through one gentleman's replay. We ended up still having a very messy being the understatement of the day here. With the 3v3 ends in TLS still winning this one 1-0, so ultimately the results were still going to hold from what it looked like. But now both teams are just going to have to move right along. Here it is going to be Barnacle and Dime, Zones being the next one. Both team members are back from being pulled, yanked under them, effectively speaking there. So now you played each other effectively now for about 7 or 8 minutes in the same map. You now move on to a zones map. It's obviously different than Rainmaker. You also got the big zone in the middle. I wouldn't be shocked if both teams decided we have picked up nothing from each other from the previous map. we're gonna probably stick to the same script and keep the same weapons.
Yeah, that's what honestly, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? You know, you're comfortable with how everyone plays, you know, you feel like you can already adapt to whatever they're doing currently. So if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? In certain situations, like if you lose a game, right, and you notice like the comp has a glaring weakness, this might be a time to like maybe swap out something like, oh, if someone plays Squeezer, for example, and there's a Tenebrella, right? Squeezer matches up really good against Tenebrella. If you lost the previous match, you move that in and you see how that plays. But hey, I'm curious to see if they just stick with the same comps here, Keon.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a hunch because there's basically nobody really had a read on each other at all with the way that map went. But we're gonna put all that in the past. We have moved forward to game 2 here. Again, best of 5. TLS is up 1-0 here. Obviously, Beeline probably gonna be a little bit frazzled with that DC situation. If it is a glimmer of maybe a little bit of a moral words or moral victory, at least they were not in the lead in the DC situation. They were still operating from behind regardless. So it wasn't like you lost the lead because of the DC and the silliness that happened there. So both teams are going to be queuing back up here. And I alluded to before. Hang on here for a quick second. I was going to say that it is the same weapon. No, it's literally just flexing over to the other variant.
Yep, definitely. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But hey, we can make a few adjustments to the special here, you know. That Sniper Rider here with the wall and rain is going to be zoning out a lot of the people here on this splat zone. And DRF on that Tri-Slosher is going to be supplying those cooler, but gets shut down by a slog on the Slosher here. And multiple members from Triggerfish Linemate are going to be taken out here as they try to hold onto their platform here and are flushed out by the members of Beeline here, Keon.
Yeah, Beeline now with a much better start here. There, and you alluded to it too, where the Red Sniper Rider, 5H specifically, is going to have that wall and Inkstorm there. Basically, the idea is sound in a map like Barnacle and Time Zones. You can use the storm, throw it over the zone there. Not only to just cap it, also zone out the other members. It's actually not a bad choice. The other side too, by the way, that I saw from Beeline, they switched over to the Viper Deco. They got beacons and Tena missiles that are at the ready if they choose to take advantage. But it looks like Triggerfish Slime able to fight back, able to get the zones back. No problem there. We're gonna see Golden trying to be very aggressive with the 52. No dice there. Mia's trying to lurk large, and it is gonna be a delayed 3. It is gonna be 2 down, but there is gonna be enough members from Beeline to paint over that zone just nicely. Beeline's gonna get the zones back. Just gotta get through those penalty points.
Yeah, definitely. Pepe's going to be popping the Trizuka there. Wait, are those shots hitting? Oh, no. Oh, no. The sauce is lost, guys. He got lost in the sauce. He's going to be removed from the game here, along with another member.
We're not allowed to play Splatoon at 10:35 p.m. So here's the weirder part about this. Here's the weirder part about this. You know how we noted that the sloshers got pulled midway? The Mario Party minigame gods decided to say, no, we're gonna yank 2 different members out in this game instead, and we're still gonna play 3v3. So now both teams are having to adjust on the fly once more. The Viper, just to give you guys an idea of who left, I think the V shot that has disappeared from TLS, they got pulled under the rug. Yeah, Pepe's out. Mia got pulled out as well. The Viper Deco's out. So it is looking to be a lead change. Yes, it will be a lead change here from Beeline. I'd imagine though Beeline are not going to be feeling too great though, losing this lead with the way things have went.
Oh my gosh, I gotta be honest. This is gonna leave a sour taste in both teams' mouth. You know, they just want to play Splatoon at the end of the day. That's not asking much, but apparently it is tonight here at 11:30 EST. But hey, it looks like Triggerfish Linemate is going to be trying to secure this zone to close this game out here. I'm curious to see if another gentleman's replay will be happening here, but I think both teams are going to agree. They're just going to keep playing it out here, and another game gets shut down by Triggerfish Linemate there. Keon, This is like some type of. You mentioned Mario Party before, right? We're playing a mini game, you know, going from 4v4 to 3v3. You know, those members got yanked out there, but I have never seen any Mario Party become this crazy and chaotic, where just every time you're trying to set something up, it just crumbles right in front of you.
You know, I know Mario Party is a 4-player game, but we have to illustrate just this buffoonery that we're being pulled. Because literally, Game 1 and Game 2, 2 members get yanked out. And it's one on both teams, too. In Game 1, DRF and the Slash player, which someone's going to have to let me know who the Slash player on Beeline was. got pulled. And in this game, Pepe and Mia both getting pulled just like that. And it's just like, you'd think in a game like this, it would probably be the same people getting pulled, but no, it is different people every time. The gods are not happy with the players playing tonight. They're telling both these teams, you should not be playing the Splatoon this late at night. You should go back to whatever you're doing here on Tuesday. So, yeah, yeah, this has literally been a cursed game. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if both teams eventually want to decide to do another host switch, because that is 2 maps in a row that we have seen a member get pulled on both ends. And I think they are letting the results hold, but I think they're just trying to iron this stuff out based on the fact that there is no map change from what I see.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned how there was some type of curse going on and there might be some type of higher being. I am going to pray to whatever that higher being is. Please, please let us play the Splatoon here. Please.
We want to have a stable game here tonight. We just want people to play. And again, and it feels like both teams are gonna be feeling. I'd imagine. I'll be honest here, Neptune. If you and I, I'm sure you and I, for me, especially in Anarchy or X Rank, you probably in a competitive game setting where you're having to deal with a random disconnect in the middle. If you're on a team like Behind, where you're on the losing end of these disconnects, now granted they are 3v3s, but the dynamics are so different by then. If you're on the losing end of a DC, like what does the team have to start thinking about if this is just going to continue to be the cause? It's like, do you have to just keep your head cool? Do you just have to keep your cool and just realize, okay, something's up, or just trying to make sure everybody stays calm?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of what you said there, plus mental fortitude, right? Because at the end of the day, right, your head needs to be in this game and be locked in and be deciding what's the best course of action to take in the middle of this game, because Splatoon's a very dynamic game from just playing it all the time, right? One person goes down at an awkward time when you're trying to push or like when you're trying to defend, and just situations just happen and pop up and you need to adapt, right? So in a similar situation to this, these players are going to be having their mental fortitude tested in ways that are beyond on the game scope here by pulling 2 random members here, dude. It's like a vending machine, you know. 2 things got popped out here. You never know what's going to be happening here, Keon. But hey, we're locking in ship shape cargo tower control. What do you think of this map mode combination?
I like ship-shaped tower control, especially when you have the checkpoints where they are, and the fact that things can get a little crazy when you get past the first. So I like to see how both teams adjust to it. I would normally like to say what weapon differences we may have, which we have seen weapon differences. I'm more worried if we're gonna have a game where we can have some normal Splatoon action coming up forward. Can we have a game where it finally ends in a 4v4? And the reason why I'm putting a lot more emphasis on that too is the difference between a 3v3 and 4v4 is substantial at this point, because you don't know which member is just gonna suddenly get pulled under you. Basically, it's like you have to make sure you can play in a full 4-up situation on both ends each time, and you want to make sure you can play it out that way. So that's why you mentioned it before, how both teams will have their it will be a test of mental fortitude. I feel like that's gonna be the understatement: is can they get through ship shape tower control and hope to goodness that it doesn't happen to them as well.
Yeah, these players gotta hope and pray to whatever higher beings up there that doesn't happen to them once again here, or anything happens in their favor. Especially since tower control on this map is a very snowball heavy map. You know, I don't know about you, but I've been getting quite a bit of snow here in the States, so perhaps this might be a good time and me a message here that snow might be falling here, and they might be time to build a snowman where members get DC'd here. But hey, let's get into this, Keon. What's getting out to you with these comps?
So the big change that I see so far, definitely Golden Ball is going to be switching over to the Neo Splash. You got more painting. So this is just going to be a very painting heavy comp that we got from TLS for sure there. And ultimately Shai's going to stick with that red Snipe Rider there. So so that's going to be something to keep an eye on. It is going to be, by the way, 2 down. Viper Deco, by the way, still in usage. They still have the beacons and antenna missiles to boot. Pepe is going to get 1. Pill has dropped out of there. This is going to be TLS kicking off this push right out of the gates.
Yeah, definitely. The first checkpoint is already in contesting right now. Right, Beeline is looking for a way to get back in here, but no, Pepe with that Zuka going to be shutting down there, along with that Snipe Rider, just looking in both directions there. Ka-ching, ka-ching. They're going to be shut out of here. 2 more members of Beeline fall right now. And Shiny is just having the time of their life here on tower, That is the ideal tower push here, Keon, being uncontested, Maybe you get to build that snowman after all.
yeah. What is the song that's like, do you want to build a snowman? And then it's just going to be playing over and over and over again. And it is, as you alluded to, they want to get to that point. Oh my goodness! I think you just saw it too. That was a very nice splat there. Ultimately, it was just style points. So Beeline wins out the fight, and it is going to be a delayed wipe for sure. This is going to give Beeline a chance to set up right then and there. It is going to be Golden Ball still going to be lurking large ball. Golden Ball gets completely punished. Beeline may have a response here. It is going to be Pill looking on the left-hand side, and we do see DRF just they're waiting in the wings, and DRF is going to go down. So is Pepe. Beeline looking for more points.
Yeah, Beeline getting those heals picks on Pepe and DRF are going to be huge now because the special passive charge from that tower is going to be in their favor right now, And they just lost the Zuka and the Schooler right now. So Slog going in there on the plat there, taking 2 down, and somehow Triggerfish Limeade manages to hold onto that lead by just 1 point there and manages to flush out nearly every single member of Beeline back there as DRF throws down this Cooler, gets some drinks here, and is looking for a way to slay down even more members in mid here, but no, it's not going to be enough here, and Beeline is back in mid control right now.
I was actually stunned that Beeline actually never swiped lead actually by the end of it. I was actually kind of just stuck in shock and awe because it looked like there were some really slick plays from Beeline right out of the gate there with the Sasha picking out Shiny. But by the end of it, just only 1 point short of the marker there. And it is going to be 2 down. Beeline is still winning some of these fights, but the tower keeps resetting each go-around. Delayed 3, by the way, on top of this. Sasha, remember, has gone down. You got Wiper Deco. You got the 52 set up in front. They should be able to get the lead. Yes, they will. It is going to be 3 down. Those just going to try to fight for more points there. And some interesting interactions there. And it is just going to be the tower being stalled. Beeline, though, will have the lead.
Yeah, Beeline alienating to grab that lead now. So if any ETC shenanigans happen right now, at least that lead is secured in their favor right now. And right here, it's going to be just 2 more minutes left up in this game right now as Pepe coming out with that Zuka right now, already finding a pick here, moving up to that top left side here, looking for 1 more pick here and trying to do something here, but just not going to be able to find it and goes down, unfortunately, here as members of Beeline are coolered up and ready to go forward once again here as it seems like Triggerfish Limeade is struggling to get at that momentum that they were able to get from the first 2 games here.
Yeah, actually, a lot of that momentum they had from the first push has completely dissipated on them. And anytime they're trying to look for some of those angles, they're just met with members from Beeline just waiting for them each go around. And we do get to see one of the members there, Slog, I believe, is the member on that Sasha who's just playing excellent, honestly, for the rest of Beeline there, and just trying to wait to see how that went. It looks like everything seems to be fine. Two members up on both ends of the teams. I'm trying to figure out how to speak words here for a second, and it is going to be a pivotal 50 seconds left to go on the clock. The push is stalled. TLS needs to set up if they want to have the lead back.
Yeah, 1 more minute to get this lead back here. Shiny hops on that tower with that Snipe Rider here as they start to pressure the left-hand side. The strikes are online, and that Zuka is in the reserve right now. They have to be able to push back all the Beeline members. As you see, they're clustering up really hard. 1 good bomb, 1 good situation for your win can totally swap the lead in favor of that. But, oh my goodness, the strikes get popped on tower here, stalling it even further here. Pepe uses the Zuka here. Unfortunately, not going to be able to find anyone right here. 2 members of Beeline go down here. This might be a lead swap right here. 13 seconds left on the clock here, Keon. The lead does get swapped here. Oh my goodness here, Keon. And they clear the checkpoint here. That is going to be Triggerfish Limeade going to be able to swap that lead here and just stay on this tower. Shiny, what?
Shiny needed to just stay on the tower. And now Beeline has to run this one back. Here's the critical point here, Neptune. They got all the members up. Now your important thing here, stay alive. 2 words, stay alive, and make sure you win to win all your fights against TLS, because this is a long road to 3 points remaining. They just popped the 10 missiles right there. 2 specials are available. 50 is going to be the Killer Whale and the Trip Strikes. They got to place these in great positions, but they got to win a lot of these fights. Members have to stay on the tower at all times. Golden Ball still is going to be playing this one very passively there. Pepe is lurking in the wings. The Arm is down for the 2nd time in this push. So is Pepe has gone down on top of it. Golden Ball is going to be the one that is waiting with the Trip Strikes. They're trying to use this. They're trying to throw it right in the tower, and they've taken out the Weber Deco, and that's a huge 2, and all of the members have gone down, and they held the Trip Strikes at the perfect time from Golden Ball. TLS will sweep the set 3-0 in what has been basically the set of all time.
What just happened in that last minute there? Just Triggerfish Limeade there just decided, like, okay, enough's enough. I'm tired of playing in my spawn right now. It's time for us to take control of that tower and just shove it all the way to that 3-point mark there. Shiny just standing on there trying to waste as much time as possible, so there is as little time possible for the members of Beeline to be able to go forward there. Congratulations, Triggerfish Limeade, going up 3-0 at SoCallie here. Going to be moving on to grand finals there. However, Keon, someone has to meet them in grand finals. Isn't that right?
Yes, that is true. Beyond's gonna have to drop, and they drop down to the lower side. They will play UCST Esports Gold for this one. I wish there are a lot of things we want to talk about this set, but ultimately, I don't think there really is much we could do other than take a deep dive into that third matchup there. And but the big thing to note too, the big thing to note too is this set, unfortunately, is probably gonna be one Neptune that Beeline are gonna feel very bitter about with the way the set played out for the most part. Is you had the shenanigans of the first 2 maps. I know we could talk about hashtag insert whatever moment there, but you had to look past that, unfortunately, and then try to move forward. You saw that Beeline had a lot of control for a good chunk of that lead, and then it just all disappeared right at the end when TLS had that great push. And then Shiny may have gotten a little, it was basically just Shiny and the Tiny Tower. They just had to stop them. Shiny was just trying to desperately stall it out as much as they can. And that's what we saw there. But I would not be surprised at all if Beeline is probably going to be coming back thinking, we have to take on TLS. And I want to see if we can come back to taking on TLS in grands after the way this goes. And I think we are going to get a replay of, I think, honestly, the match that we can only look at here, Neptune, for the most part, as I want to see what the KAs are.
Ooh.
And I think this was just a very brawly game overall that both teams were just kind of equal in power.
Yeah, notice just there's so many special uses. Man, that Zap getting 7 coolers just enabling a lot of these specials on their side here. So sure, it's a decent painter. I wouldn't expect to get too many special, but hey, 6 Trip Strike, that is really nice right there. You know, being able to push so far up, going through just the motions right there, and being able to push through certain checkpoints right there with the Tri-Slosher, because they always had the strikes online at the right opportunities, right? And being able to push the left platform there was just fantastic teamwork there. Just, oh my gosh, man. Just that cooler, just being able to sip that up, gobble that up, whatever adjective or verb you want to do to the soda here, and just move with it.
Yeah, and I honestly, there were a lot of specials that, Beeline definitely tried to do. I honestly hope to goodness that Beeline has that fight to go meet TLS and try to put the shenanigans that happened here, because it was there was a lot of shenanigans that did occur, and I think we are going to get a breakdown of how this game played out. We are going to be seeing 2 lead changes, by the way, in this particular map combination, this game 3. And just for the record, this is probably the only game we can accurately depict without ignoring the shenanigans from the past 2. And yeah, look at this. It was almost a roller coaster ride that involved the lead pretty much being held firm by Beeline, and then we're gonna see the big push at the end. And I think it ultimately came down to the staggered death that Beeline just ended up taking at the end of that.
Yeah, definitely. Just being able to take that first checkpoint there very strong and convincingly, right? So now you just get bottlenecked by the second checkpoint here. And then literally we ride up these mountains, up and down here, right? As you noted, is that Beeline it's Beeline starting to get some points right now. Slowly getting that tower here. Not quite gonna get lead for a little bit here. Gonna try and go for lead one more time here. And I believe it doesn't work out once again. But hey, once I get over that little bit of a hump right there, right, then the lead gets swapped right there, going past the 38 mark with three members of Beeline going down here. And this is where you saw Triggerfish Limeade just being able to get some of that momentum back and get very scrappy in mid there. But luckily for Beeline, they had the beacons to just jump into as well as that cooler just to be able to reestablish control of the game here and put a lot of pressure on Triggerfish to make that last push work there. There was hardly any time, but somehow, some way, some specials were used and some coordination was used, and the plan somehow managed to squeak out the lead and by not just a little bit, but by a huge margin, all the way down to I believe 3 points there at the end.
I want to see. I'm gonna have a selfish request for production. I don't normally do this. I want to see what happened at the start of that push here that got TLS the victory there. It's gonna be that push where you know the Inkstorm gets popped. You have the trip strikes being popped there as well. You would see Beeline pop that clue right there. Thank you so much production or a la Vapor of course, providing that quick little replay there. I just want to see how this played out here as well. Yeah, Shiny's gonna be the one that's right in the tower. It is gonna be Golden Ball DRF kind of splitting their focus there. DRF wins that crucial fight against Viper Deco that ultimately built up the space there. Shiny had to just respect the trip strikes, and I think DRF getting the splat there, and then just the entire front line went down and crumbled like a like a tar of cards there.
Yeah, definitely. DRS picks there were really crucial, right? Because they took out the most important weapons to be able to just completely get people off tower. The chip strikes and that slosher went down, as well as the missiles from that wiper as well. So basically taking those two down and just trading out allowed a lot of momentum from their team and just did not give any opportunity for Beeline to have the specials they needed at that point in time to be able to hold the lead there. And now it just goes into overtime. Missiles get popped a little early. Not many people are able to capitalize off this, right? As you notice that Wiper wants to go in there, but just can't quite do it. Pepe is in the bottom left here and is managing to just survive just barely for enough time. They're stalling out those fights as Shiny pops the rain here, and the end-all be-all tri-strikes. Hit that GG button there, Ikion.
Golden Ball just called GG's with those trip strikes. I was actually curious as to how all that played out. Yeah, you mentioned. I think you and I both saw what we saw there, which was DRF with two crucial finds into the back, it basically into the heart of that entire Beeline composition, and then it just everything just fell into TLS's favor from there. Also, shoutouts to Shiny still staying in the tower, noticing that there was only 3 seconds left. Ultimately, if you have retained control of that tower for a period of time, if you get held on to it for as long as you could. I think the game will actually end there. There will be no overtime whatsoever on that front there. I think keyword is I think it was literally just a second. I think Beeline was able to stay on Shiny with just a fraction of a second left. Had that not been there, Beeline would have not had the had Beeline not been able to do that, the game would have just been over then and there. But Beeline was able to get Shiny out of there just in time. Pepe, obviously, as we saw earlier, jumping into that tower, throws the suction bomb, just trying to make something out of nothing. Ultimately, same deal, but thankfully the rest of Beeline was on top of it. But as you mentioned, GG strikes were just ultimately waiting for them at the end of it. And this was basically the map where we saw a lot of back and forth. I would have loved to see this whole back and forth the entire way through in the previous two, but moments like that ends up happening every now and then.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Like, as you mentioned before, like, if you're a Beeline member, this is the way you go out, right? With 2 DCs in the first 2 games, and then you almost had it there, but just the specials that you need at the very last minute there just unfortunately just kind of collapsed and just allow that snowball, right? We're building snowmen even more at the end there, right? And just pushing it all the way down to 3E there. You mentioned Shiny just sitting on tower there, but it could potentially end the game there, right? They had a game plan and they executed it there, and they knew, right? They were going to be in the driver's seat for the whole half of overtime there, because now all you gotta do is get those GT strikes, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. One of those things is going to kill the Tower Rider, and they're gonna have to get off there, and someone else just hops on. There's not much you can do. That's why we call it a GG special here at the end of the day, Keon.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw that, and we saw. Honestly, it was a perfect execution of the GG strikes there as well, along with the GG booty that I saw in the previous hour there too. So both teams nailing their GG specials correctly. But Neptune, the final result here is that it will be Triggerfish Slimy Supremacy, or TLS, as I've always called Colin Spar 3-0. They'll be winning the winner of losers finals, which will be Beeline versus UCSD East Gold. See which team will be taking them on in grand finals in the SoCallie 3, which is just a handful of months, just late to the party here. But hopefully both we get the schedules for both these teams ironed out and sent through. But Neptune, thank you for hopping in on this one. An effective notice, let's say, of here in SoCallie 3. Obviously, we want to take this land to a close here at some point here, especially with online play in mind. So Neptune, as much as the shenaniganery that we saw here in the set today, that was a lot of fun to just call and see what ended up happening there.
Yeah, definitely. I had a lot of fun there, playing some Mario Party minigames or witnessing the Mario Party minigames action. Everyone has a good time playing Mario Party, but I never thought Mario Party was built into Splatoon there. I don't know. I missed the memo. I didn't read the manual, honestly, when I first got the game there, so I was not aware that was an aspect of this game here. But hey, at the end of the day, both teams played their heart out. They made it all the way to winners finals, right? It's not easy getting up all the way to this point right here. There's so many teams you have to beat through trials, tribulations, close calls, situations that just happen that you just somehow manage to just barely eke out and just come all the way this far. It's just a little bit of it's like a Sour Patch Kid. Some sweet, some sour, but it gets a little bit of a sweet run at the end there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, it is going to be TLS win this one. Again, I hope Beeline doesn't take this one to a very bitter end when we get to as they do have one another chance. They got to take on that opponent there. But Neptune, I think that is going to cut it here for both of us. I guess we can just give you a quick shout out if you want to have any there. So where can the people find you real quick?
Well, they can find me in my bed soon.
And that will be the same with me. They will also soon find me eventually sleeping, but I'll probably annoy me. I'll be out for another hour or so.
Yes.
Twitch, by the way, Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, you know the drill. Just hit the follow button if you want.
Yep.
But Neptune, thank you as always for hopping in on this one with Neptune production member Vapor, who has been awesome running this one here tonight. I'm Keelan saying thank you guys for tuning in. Go get some sleep. You have watched the presentation of SoCallie 3 online play here on Vapor's channel. So we hope to see you guys next time when we do get to see a conclusion to SoCallie 3.
Peace, guys.